Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elacia, and basically on this channel I talk about semi freeform locks and really just different ways you can embrace your authentic, beautiful self. I got a great question from a viewer asking me about how I maintain my semi freeform locks. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about that today. As you can see, our scenery is a little bit changed up. Instead of sitting on the couch in my house, I'm on the couch on my porch out here in hot and humid Georgia. So I got the glistening on my face going on because it is a very humid day. I live in a high air traffic area, so you may hear some of the planes go by every once in a while, but I hope that none of that distracts you from the information that I'm getting ready to provide you on my lock maintenance. So just to give you some background on my locks, if you're new here, I've been semi-free-forming since March of 2022. It's now July of 2023, so it's been about 16 months now. I like to play around with my semi-freeform locks. I don't think that I necessarily have to always keep them one way because they're in the freeform category. So for example, right now I have my locks in a roller set style that I did a couple of days ago, and I'll probably rock this for a few days until I decide to wash it out. Let's see here. So let's talk a little bit about my lock maintenance. I think the most important thing to start with is how often hey, how you doing? How often I wash my locks. Say what now? So yeah, as I mentioned, I live in the South, so people usually speak and they're friendly. So I was having a conversation with somebody that hangs out in our neighborhood real quick, but let me see, where was I? I was talking about how often I wash my hair. So that was one of the first questions about my maintenance, is how often I wash. And basically it really just depends on my level of activity. On average, I wash my hair about once a week. That's typically throughout the year. In the winter though, I may stretch it to a week and a half. In the summer, I may wash it more often depending again on my level of activity, because as I said before, it gets pretty hot here. I work out pretty often, and that causes my hair to sweat, and I don't want to be someone who has stinky locks, so I make sure that I wash my hair often so that it can still smell nice, even though I don't do the typical twisting with my hair. And I know there's already the perception out there that freeform and semi-freeform locks are dirty and nasty and stinky, and that's not the case at all for many freeformers or semi-freeformers. In fact, we probably wash our hair even more often because we don't have to worry about messing up our freshly done twist. So I hope that answers your first question. It's when it comes to washing maintenance, it's really just a matter of preference on how you think your hair can take it. If you feel like it's over drying your hair by washing it once a week, then you can spread it out a little bit longer than that. If you feel like your hair gets really dirty and you have a high level of activity, then it will be important for you to wash your hair more often. I also want to share with you the types of products that I use in my hair when I wash it. When I first started off, I was using Dr. Bronner's products because that just seemed to be really popular in the lock community. But I found for me personally that it created that white build-up look in my hair, and I really didn't like that. I don't want my locks to start growing out and it has that white film in my hair. So in order to combat the white filmy issue, I started looking for shampoos that were both clear and also didn't have a lot of oils in them, because that seems to be the issue with the Dr. Bronner's, is that it has a whole bunch of nice natural oils and I don't want that to be something that ends up being an issue with my hair, is it gets too filled with products that get stuck in my locks. So looking for those shampoos that do not have all of that oil in it is helpful. So here are a few that I am using currently. For the cheaper side of things, if you're more like on a budget, looking for a budget friendly one, I've been using some Suave Daily Clarifying Shampoo. I've also even shopped at like Trader Joe's or Whole Foods and found some clarifying shampoos that are again more clear and doesn't have a bunch of oils in it, and that's going to be typical of a clarifying shampoo. It's not going to have that kind of stuff in it. I also use there was a product under the product line of Not Today type of shampoos and hair serums that I use, and I'm all out of that, and I can't remember the name of it, but they have one. But if you are familiar with the Not Today conditioner, they have a clarifying shampoo, and it comes in a green bottle. If you want to spend a little bit more, oh, and another thing I should say about the clarifying shampoo is I usually use that probably about once a month. I don't use it every wash. The other shampoo I've been using is the Atlanta Hair Doctor one. This is probably the one I use more often. This is a little bit more on the pricey side. Well, I will say about this is amazing, not only for your locks, but my daughter, she actually had some issues with her scalp. I don't know if it was psoriasis or the dermatologist said it was actually eczema. And we use her products, both the shampoo, conditioner, a little bit of oil, and that helped clear it up right away. Well, I would say within a month. And the other thing that I use in my hair, and this is more so for moisturizing, is I've been using the rose water and glycerin, this right here. And that's been really helpful for moisturizing my hair, because I don't put oils and butters in my hair and scalp, because again, that will also lead up to the issue of buildup, which I am trying to avoid. That filmy substance being in my locks, especially as they begin to grow, that is just something that I want to avoid. Okay, y'all, it's getting too social outside, so I am going to wrap up this video inside. A couple of things I want to say about the shampoos that I just mentioned, because I know I was like, avoid the oils and it has to be clear. So first, when I say clear, I basically just mean not that that white, really thick shampoo kind of conditioner mix, if you know what I mean. That's great when you're a loose natural, but it's not really great when you're a when you're locked. So this for me works. I know it's not clear, it's blue, but basically it doesn't leave that filmy residue behind that is working for those loose naturals hair to like break up the tangles, which isn't what you want when you are a locked person. And the second thing I mentioned was like, I try to avoid the oils in my shampoo. There are a few oils in this shampoo right here, but there's things like tea tree oil, and there was another one in here that for my hair personally, it doesn't leave the residue the way that the Dr. Bronner's does. I don't know what it is about the Dr. Bronner's, but I don't know if it's the amount of oils or the kind of oils. It just doesn't work for my hair. But for you out there who use it and there's no issue, continue to use it if it works for you. The final thing I want to say about my hair maintenance is, again, I don't just wear my hair wash and go, freeform, semi-freeform lock lady. I like to style it every once in a while. Like these curls that we have going on right here. I like to change it up, do things that are fun and flirty. I'll do updos, I'll wear it down, or I'll just wear it like wash and go. When I want to do things that are more fun and curly, this is what I use. This is what I've been using as of lately. And I'll show you what I was using before this. Okay. Okay, so I am pulling out these rollers. These are the ones I'm using right now. They're a very soft, cushiony type of curler, pliable. You can move them around to do your curls. You use these ends right here to hold the curl in place. One day I'm going to get a tripod, I promise, so I can be more hands-free. But this is what this is what I use to help curl my locks. In the past, I've used these to curl my locks. Old school, granny type of curlers. I love them. They got some satin on it to keep your hair from tearing on them. Either option is great. These are way easier to sleep in if you plan on keeping them in for a long period of time. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing in terms of maintenance for my locks. But honestly, that's just pretty much it. The whole reason, oh no, last thing, separating my locks. I do that when I first started locking. I probably did it a couple of times a week. Now I try not to separate as much because I'm noticing that too much separation causes thin locks. Let's see if I can find one here. See, in my mind, this is more of a thinner lock. But I notice, like, when I feel on it, I can feel right here, and this seems like thinner than the rest of the lock. And I don't want to run into any issues where it just thins and thins and thins, and then one day I'm holding the lock in my hand. So I try to minimize the amount of separating that I do. If I find that there's a lock that is combining that it doesn't necessarily need to combine, then I'll separate it. I would say probably every other week is when I separate to be on a routine. If I notice that there's a lock that's really thin and it's naturally gravitating towards another lock, I just let it be. I just leave it alone, let them grow together, because to me, in my mind, it's basically trying to heal and repair itself. So now I think that's the end of my lock maintenance routine. I hope that was helpful for you. I hope you enjoyed sitting outside with me in the Georgia heat and coming in the air conditioning and socializing with my neighbors and people that hang out with my neighbors. But if you have any other questions in terms of semi-freeform locks, please leave them in the comments, and I'm happy to answer them in any future videos. That's it for now. You all take care and have a wonderfully, beautifully authentic day. Bye-bye.